Alright, folks, welcome back to another Discord League Cup match. We have the last round of 32 match happening right now. Will be Theia versus Goblin Guide. And so we have Crane versus Lion, the classic matchup, I guess. And so, taking a look at Theia's list here, I've got Luke with me co-casting, so we do have a Crane player here, so he can tell me all the things that I don't know, like use box.
Huh, yeah.
And so looking at Theia's list here, we see 2 Hotaru, 3 Yoshi. I don't think I've seen a uniform number on this on the 5-drop Dynasty characters.
Yeah, there was a time when people were dropping Hotaru completely quite regularly. Then we saw a lot of lists, I think, in Season 2 perhaps, that were 2 Hotaru, 2 Yoshi. Then people decided, I think, almost universally you'll see 3 Yoshi in decks these days.
So,
Hotaru will depend on the number of charge and also just how the player prefers to run the deck.
looks like we see 41 conflict cards with Scorpion Splash. Scorpion Splash is 2 Fate Worse Than Death, 2 Calling in Favors. We have 2 Admit Defeat, 2 Assassination, 1 Censure, 2 Charge, 1 Mono RA, interesting, 1 Noble Sack, 3 Test of Skills, so these one-ofs are easier to tutor for. And then we see that Theia has skimped on some attachments with 2 and 2 on Katana and Fan, and we see skimping on characters with only 2 Stewards and 1 political rival.
Yeah, I think what you usually see with decks with 3 Test of Skill is between 30 and 34 events. So when deciding whether or not to run attachments or characters, a lot of people will run, up to 8 characters. Theia has decided to, keep some of the zero-cost attachments in there. That can be a little bit easier in the early game to affect the board.
So, taking a look at Goblin Guide's deck here, we have, let's see, triple question mark deck with Mia Satoshi. We have, let's see, Imperial Palace. We've got 2 Ujiaki, 1 Magistrate. Goblin Guide is on Venerable Historian, which not every Lion player is. The Lion Dynasty deck is very different. Like, I don't think I've seen 2 players with, like, the same Dynasty deck. We have 3 Legion of 1, 1 Assassination, 2 Bonsai. Interesting that he chose to drop Bonsai instead of Legion of 1, as Bonsai is more universal, like you can play it in every conflict.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the Legion of 1 is in there just for its potential as a surprise effect with the Goblin Sneak, or even Ikoma Prodigy. It's just a big swingy effect.
Goblin Guy's conflict deck is insane. He's got 2 Let Go, 3 Fury, 1 Tattoo Wanderer for his splash. Then he has 2 Stand Your Ground, no Ready for Battles, just what I think might be the best Lion conflict card, no Ready for Battles. He's like, I don't need that card. 2 Strength in Numbers, 2 Waning Hostilities, which I actually do think is good in Lion, where you want to be making your military attack pretty much. And then we see 2 Way of the Lion instead of 3, which also is interesting considering how they stack. We see 1 Katana, 3 Fan, and then we see 9 conflict characters, 2 Crones, 3 Goblin Sneaks, the Wanderer, and 3 Vengeful Oathkeepers. So this is a pretty wild list.
Yeah, I think this is one Lion's approach at how to build an anti-Scorpion list. As you said, it's pretty wild, but they got through Shoot in the round of 64, who's a Crane player. I think a lot of their tech choices for Scorpion also worked rather well against Crane.
Yeah, especially the version that Shoot and Theia are playing right now, which is kind of like Diet Scorpion, I like to call it. Where it's like Control Crane, right? Where you're trying to use your conflict cards to control the board. But it's not as effective. Man, if only Crane had a good clan province, right? Like, imagine if Crane had Secret Cache.
I do daily think about what it would be like if Green had secret cash.
Or although I do see some people run the Art of Peace. I personally don't like it, but it does at least see some play, unlike some clan provinces.
I think Art of Peace is fine for against Dragon. It can hit Niten Masters or Yokuni pretty hard.
Yeah, the main problem is Pathfinder's Blade, right? Like, it still also just gets destroyed by Pathfinder's Blade.
That's true for any province, though. I guess you might expect to see them leave the Pathfinder's Blade on when you're drawing cards or gaining fate, but they don't have to.
Shoot in Discord League channel hits me with, "It's not Diet Scorpion, respect us," in all capitals. Man, I love Shoot. Alright, so we see that Goblin Guide has won the die roll, chosen to go second. We see Crane buys out Savvy Politician and Asami. This signifies that they have waived the Crane, I would imagine. We see Goblin Guide buying out both Berserkers. Theia gets first pass. So, you don't buy out this board like this if you don't have the Way of the Crane already, right? Like, she has to have it already?
Yeah, she really does. I think it's not that bad of a buy. It's conservative to hold back to fate. Certainly not bad though.
We can see a test of skill, right? Because she is playing 3, so maybe that's why you hold back 2. There's the Way of the Crane. So, as Crane in this matchup, what are you looking... What cards are you looking to counter with Voice of Honor? Like, Voice of Honor is obviously taxed in every matchup, right? You just have to pick your spots. But is there like a card that you just want to save it for?
What you want to do is you want to prevent any kind of momentum from building up on the lion side of the board. So you could be countering a charge, or after they, when their board is starting to run out of fate, you could be countering a For Greater Glory.
Okay.
Things like that. So you called the test of skill. We see court games, policy debate, and for shame, we're going to see him pick up. It's actually a hard. Well, on this board, you might want to pick up court games and for shame. Policy debate isn't on until they have a character with political skill.
Is Goblin playing policy debate? He is not. Some Lions have decided to play it and some don't, so he's not, but Thea is playing 3. So these Berserkers having once again proving why I think Dash is better than 0.
You know what? I just thought of something. I think we could see
Waning
hostilities get canceled as one of the priorities, depending on how they buy on the line side.
Oh, sure, right? Like this turn, right? I guess he's missed the window.
Well, you wouldn't be able to counter it unless you were running Forged Edict on the first round.
Well, you could counter it here, right?
Be honored. You wouldn't be able to surprise him with it, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, right. So you
Waning hostilities has to happen at the beginning of the conflict phase.
Yeah, but you just honor in draw step, which is what she did. So that way you can counter in conflict.
Yeah, you could do that.
So probably gonna see a political attack here. No, okay. So the savvy politician is the military. Oh yes, Asami has her ability, obviously. Runs in a pilgrimage. So quick rundown of the province row. So we see Manicure Garden, Ancestral Lands, Feast or Famine, Pilgrimage, and Art of War. Pretty standard lion row. The only difference being Pilgrimage and Shameful Display, which is I think about a 50-50 split between players. And then Thea's running Fertile Fields, Manicures, Meditations, Shameful, Rally, very solid row, 2 economy provinces, Meditations, Shameful, and then Rally under box. I do know that some players like to put Rally in the row against Lion, because it can lead to some huge tempo swings. Like I know Widwin, for instance, put meditations under his stronghold one game and put
Okay, so
rally
now
run.
here we see the ideal situation for Crane where you charge in a 3 military skill character. It's really the best that you can hope for in Crane, but with Seeker of Air and Manicured Garden, you frequently are happy to trade 1 fate for 3 military skill. I think
Nourishment
this is
also
fine.
having a relevant action when he is in play too.
So we see the only Tattooed Wanderer come down on defense.
This could lead to a pretty explosive turn if Goblin Guide has any number of vengeful Oathkeepers. Eric saying looks like a strong start if the Yoshi province can be protected. So yeah, so we see exactly why Theia wanted 2 Fate. She plays 2 1-cost events.
So Theia's tanking here, so she may have more gas. But I imagine that with this play from Goblin Guide that there is some follow-up military buff. It could be one of those 3 Legion of Ones, for example.
So we see the bonsai. So if you double Legion of 1 here, you go up to 8.
Well, it's pilgrimage, right? So it's up to them how aggressive they want to go with it.
Theia has 2 swords. That's reason. Like basically, I would just be scared of. I mean, even a sword here isn't that bad. So here's Legion of 1. Does he want to go with Legion of 1 kicker? Is he scared?
Tattooed Wanderer isn't a Bushi, so it's not going to go off with For Greater Glory. So yeah, I think it would be like a 50-50 as far as what kind of player would want to actually use the Fate.
The only military buff that Theia can play now is a katana. She doesn't have any fate to play a steward. Yeah, it's just like a katana right now that could enable a break.
And any let goes are just going to be used pretty much automatically on relevant buffs since there's only 4 attachments in the Crane list.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I actually like not pumping the Legion of 1 here. You're just trying to get more cards out of the Crane's hand. How much do you really care about the Void Ring firing?
I don't think you care about the Void Ring firing. I just don't think you want Pilgrimage to break.
That's fair enough.
But we see Theia passing, so this is where Vengeful Oathkeeper is sick, right? Vengeful Oathkeeper with Pilgrimage is the combo, right? Where you lose the conflict but don't get the ring, and then you get to fire off your Oathkeepers. But we see that Goblin Guide has not put any into play, so he must not have them. Probably gonna see a military attack at Yoshi here. Oh, alright, come on. Come on, Thea. Put Rally in the row and have this be Rally. Just the biggest blowout.
Oh wow, yeah, that would be intense.
Right, like Woodwin said he likes to put meditations. Oh, it's shameful. Alright. Kind of awkward that she Way of the Craned. But it does turn on Voice of Honor, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that happens from time to time as Crane. I think she did want to prevent waning hostilities. This is tricky.
It is kind
Matsu
of
Berserker is very efficient.
It is kind of awkward also that they had a Goblin Guide hit one of the non Seeker provinces here. Not getting any fate right here is kind of awkward. So currently Goblin Guide is just breaking on base here. I think Matsu Berserker might be the 3rd best 1-drop. Right, it's like Doom Shigenja, Liar, and Berserker are like the top three.
Yeah, Berserker is pretty sweet. I think this is pretty tough for Crane. You need 2 cards because of the stronghold.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I guess Shameful would stop the break. Or sorry, for Shame.
So she activates Shameful. There's some interface issues with Shameful Display. So say you choose Shameful Display targeting a Sami and a Berserker. If you click Honor by accident, it will have you only able to honor the Matsu Berserker, and then if you there's no way to go back. So
Right, yeah.
so it just kind of it's really awkward. So manual mode fixes that, but we see the Lion Stronghold coming out here, giving +2, so we're up to 7 now.
Yeah, we saw Crane pick up that 4 Shame from the
Test of Skill.
test of skill.
This is really awkward though. If I guess Crane has the box, right? But Lion could just stand the keeper for favor. So Crane really wants to win this, I feel. But Crane would need multiple cards.
Yeah, that sword is pretty brutal at this point.
Shameful's still breaking. Wow. Wait, we see another for shame, dishonoring, so not breaking anymore. Does she have the third for shame? That would be really hype, right? It would stop the break, and you would get favor with Yoshi. Like I would spend cards here if it guaranteed me Yoshi, right? With Yoshi with favor.
Yeah, stopping the break isn't enough because the keeper has 2 glory.
Yeah. We see Way of the Lion on Matsu Berserker. So here's
That is a card is one of the reasons why Matsu Berserker is the 3rd best one drop. Because 3 pump is pretty sweet.
I think the three of them are just all in like in tier 1 or whatever, right? Like all of them in their own respective decks are insane, right? So they're just the best one drops. Like I don't think you can compare them to each other just because they fulfill different things in each of their decks.
Yeah, I mean Matsu Berserker is the only one that's reliably a 4 because of the stronghold.
Yeah, Liar.
Which is pretty awesome.
Liar has really good synergies with dishonor effects because no glory, and he has sincerity for some reason.
Yeah.
And he's also a dash military, so you can't military duel him.
I think the dash military was supposed to be a negative for having the 0 or for having no glory, and that's why it has the sincerity compared to Doji Whisperer, which is a 0/1.
Kingsley was telling me that.
But it really doesn't work out that way.
Yeah, Kingsley was saying that when the game was being tested at first, dash was looked at as worse than 0. And so that makes a little bit more sense, which is probably why Unicorn got Moto Youth as opposed to and Lion got Matsu Berserker. And then
It's that Cav tax is the problem with Moto Youth. That being said, Moto Youth is actually like not that bad of a card.
it's not right, but like when you compare it to Matsu Berserker, it's embarrassing, right? Like it's not always a 3,
Yeah.
and it has a 0, so it gets policy debated into the dirt. But and then Doom Shigenja, obviously the just the raw stats plus being a Shugenja is really strong. So Theia flips an Asami. Did Theia forget to use Nourishma?
You mean to try to look for one of those storehouses?
You could look for a storehouse, or
I
if you
don't
flip the
think it
palace or anything, like it just gives you more information, right?
Yeah.
It does look like she forgot. Yeah, I think you should just flip just to see what it is. Like if you hit a holding, it's obviously insane, and then if you flip like a duplicate or something you might want to keep, or it could just be something you don't want and you mulligan it.
Yeah, although this board is really blowing up for Lion. At least we don't see an LPB.
So Eric's asking in chat, I wonder what the draw phase Way of the Crane was for. If she had Voice of Honor, it would probably have been used on the Legion of One. Question mark. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that's something I've been struggling with in my games, is trying to predict when I'm going to lose access to Voice of Honor and try to actually make use of having drawn it. Um, yeah. I mean, I think if she had it, she should have been probably tried to do something to win that battle at Pilgrimage for sure. That being said, I think Crane has done a reasonable job of just, playing with the cards she has. Sometimes versus Lion, it's just very difficult.
So if she can survive this turn without suffering like a For Greater Glory play, I think she might be fine having her board survive, right? Like it,
I wonder if it was a mistake to contest the military conflict of Lion, though. She maybe could have attacked with Asami.
oh
It's
sure.
just so hard to actually defend the military swing. You might be tempted to say it's just two Matsu Berserkers, I have an Honored Asami, and a bunch of useful cards, but there's so many military pumps and so much synergy out of Lion for that military attack.
You could have done a political attack and kind of scouted for Feast or Famine. Your opponent had all characters with Fate.
Yeah, and already played a conflict character, so less likely to have more.
Yeah. Although I guess he does have 9. So we do see Goblin Guide does military into Manicure Garden, sending along the Moaku Kabe Guard to try and get honored via Pride and make it harder to enable Voice of Honor. So Narishma stands in the way. Let's see what he's able to do. So we see Bonsai on Narishma, probably with Kicker. It feels like she's just gonna be able to stop the break. It doesn't. I don't know. I don't know if she's gonna be able to actually win this. So
Well, we've got another 3 that would come out of the stronghold.
yeah.
Right?
Oh, okay. So he's just gonna go for
Ooh.
the break. Interesting that he chooses to move in the keeper or the monk instead of the keeper.
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand all the decision making that went into that.
And then also, yeah, I think I would move the keeper in. I don't dislike undercommitting slightly and getting some cards out of the Crane player. Favorable ground not as relevant in this matchup. There's not a lot of coverts running around. And you're pretty committed to this conflict anyway. This would be a really good opportunity to play for Greater Glory.
Yeah, it's 3 fate for 1 fate. It's very good.
Gets your honored character an extra fate also, and keeps the sword around longer.
Yeah, it can be a struggle to turn on Voice of Honor even when you're even with Lion on
So
honored
we see
characters.
assassination on the Berserker with a sword.
Is Theia still? Is she still trying to win? Because I would have thought that
No.
maybe killing the guard would be smarter.
Well, I think she was trying to stop the break. Well, we see Goblin Guy to pull the Imperial Palace onto Pilgrimage. That is rough. The Miya Satoshi mill hits an LPB, another keeper, a Toturi, and a Spirit Caller. So 2 keepers out now in play for Goblin Guide with 3, well, with two main characters gone, being Spirit Caller and LPV.
Yep.
So Goblin Guide wins the conflict, doesn't get the break. Theia discards Fate Worse Than Death. Potentially saving that for Miya Satoshi. Theia needs to be careful now. If she runs into Feast or Famine, this could be in trouble. Hey, what's up, QQ? We're on turn 2. Goblin Guide broke Shameful Display turn 1 with double Matsu Berserker and a Katana. And then he defended a military attack on Pilgrimage with a Legion of 1. That's pretty much what's happened so far. So this is a risky attack here, right? Like if you hit Feast or Famine, it could be just disastrous. But do you have another option? Do you potentially not attack? What would you do here if you were Theia, Luke? Oh, we see a rival. Okay. Well, I guess that answers that. Do you send just the rival and covert Satoshi?
Yeah, if you want to keep being aggressive here, that's what you do. But rival auto breaks, Feast or Famine.
Yeah, playing rival with 2 is so awkward too, right? Like now, if you hit Feast or Famine, it's even worse. He just takes it off the rival and puts it on his Berserker. You don't have enough. I guess you could go political, covert Satoshi at Pilgrimage, right? And then if you have a court games. If you have a court games, that works out, because then if you get court games back, your rival takes it, and you could do water to stand your Nourishma. Thoughts on that line?
That sounds doable. Yeah.
And then so Goblin Guy would have to have block with keeper, court games my own keeper, and then you would have 5-8 versus 3. Okay, so you're not breaking that way. That's rough. Maybe that line's not good enough.
So the one thing about Crane is they don't have a ton of cards that reach across the board and disrupt their opponent. We've already seen 2 for Shames and 1 of the 2 of Fate Worse Than Death.
Assassination.
So, yeah, Assassination is great. We did see Theia drop a bit of honor to, from that assassination to try to keep up with the Lion.
If you have admit defeat here, you can go after Pilgrimage. Yeah, okay. I think she has admit defeat.
This seems good.
You need court games admit defeat, and this is a pretty easy defense here, or a pretty easy break.
Because that Lion doesn't run RFB.
Yep, for whatever reason. I have to ask. I did ask him about it. He said that it was a mistake, and he just hasn't changed his deck yet. Yeah, I remember I asked him in his earlier match because it just doesn't make any sense to me. Alright, so currently not breaking.
Here's the problem. What if we see an Ageless Crone here?
What, first action Ageless Crone?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be awkward, right? She's contesting fire, too.
That's what I think is potentially really risky. Why go all in on fire? You could go for water, which is pretty strong, without risking that other keeper popping out.
If she has a mint defeat, you need to play it now. I would play mint defeat now. Yep. So okay. So there's a mint defeat.
Okay. So this is working out.
Well, she needs to get up to 8, because political favor here is actually really important. So if you honor Asami, honoring Asami brings you up to 8, and that brings you to breaking. So court games Asami is what you need. Does she have it? Yep, okay. Theia uses court games to honor Kakita Asami, and now Pilgrimage is breaking. So any conflict character right now is going to get bowed by the crane box.
Yeah, it's too late to drop one in. So Ageless Crone would have made turned off Admit Defeat. Goblin Sneak would have stolen the fate that was used.
Yes.
So there were quite a few outs for Line there.
Yeah. I definitely think that Line either didn't care enough or also just didn't have it. So if I'm Goblin here, I just stand for favor. Oh no, you still have favor. You don't even have to stand, right? You can just go get a ring. Oh, you have political favor too. Yeah, you definitely attack. Probably attacking Void.
Yeah, Void that honored Asami.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go Scout too. Oh, he just put the fan on, a preemptive fan.
This is a break. Unless there's court games.
I'm going Scouting. I wanna uncover the other air province right now to deny the Seeker Fate.
Could break Meditations would be good. That's your dream scenario.
I think I would rather break Fertile Fields to deny Seeker Fate, but
you might not be able to break it if you give them a fate.
No, it won't though. You already flipped Manicure Garden this turn.
Oh, that was this turn. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. So now that Goblin Guy does find Fertile Fields, Seeker of Air cannot trigger again, and so we see Theia's gonna get one more card, but with 5 cards and no fate and an assassination already played, it looks like it's gonna be a break here. We see court games used to dishonor the keeper, and so it might not be a break now. She can crane box this. Oh, but then we see another court games to re-honor. Goblin Guy is being really aggressive. Oof. We see a really big hand advantage building up with the Lion player here. I do think that Theia's kind of okay on the board, even if the Sasami gets voided off. You still have this rival to contest Mia Satoshi, and Narishima is a pretty strong military character.
Yeah, I'd say they're even on board. The problem is, as you keep drawing more cards with Voice of Honor dead, you're just going to accumulate dead cards in your hand.
Sure, yeah. So every Voice of Honor you draw is just a 0 until you can turn them on.
Yeah, Censure's dead. Voice of Honor's dead. Mono is dead until people play into it.
Do you find, wow, what is really awkward flipping the third Asami after she got voided off, and Lion flips LPV Ujiaki?
Well, my friend, it was a nice game.
So Lion probably buys no, Theia could have Fate Worse Than Death. Fate Worse Than Death is the saving grace against Ujiaki here, right? Like, if Lion buys Ujiaki, then you just have to fade him.
Well, you buy this LPB, probably.
Well, you could flip. You could put the LPB into play with Ujiaki's ability, and then go for Greater Glory play. If Voice of Honor is off right now, I guess he's gonna go for charge Ujiaki instead.
Yeah, that forces Crane into using First Conflict to attack Ujiaki Political, which could work.
Yeah, you have a Artisan, Asami, and Rival, so definitely doable. I wonder what that province is going to be. Goblin Guide sacrifices Storehouse. Going into draw, Lion's gonna be up, what, 4 cards, and it's even on Fate. This would be a pretty decent waning hostilities turn, where you just shorten the turn, and you just do your one big military attack.
Yeah, I would do that here. Theia's not invested more than 1 fate into any character except for that political rival, so getting the clock to move faster is in Lion's favor. Those other 2 spirit callers are in there somewhere.
There's the waning hostilities. Right, so like dream scenario for Lion. Oh no, wait, Spirit Caller puts it on the bottom regardless. Never mind. Although you could charge Ujiaki into Spirit Caller like something else, like Spirit Caller third LPV or something, and then for greater glory pull Totori for double ring, like stuff like that.
We're talking about the dream, right? So we're talking about Ujiaki into a Spirit Caller who Spirit calls Totori to double ring, void ring off the crane board, something like that.
Is that the dream? The dream is probably just Ujiaki to flip Totori and LPV, right? Because then you.
Oh, yeah.
Because then when you forget.
That's more straightforward.
Yeah. Then you resolve for greater glory, right? There is 2 fate on both the air and the water ring.
So how do we think potentially being able to get, or very likely getting the favor with Imperial Palace with only 1 conflict each this turn is going to affect the game? Do you think they could still be in it? Because
if she
I think
flips
it's
Yoshi,
possible.
If she flips Yoshi, she has to flip Yoshi, and she has to hope that Lion whiffs on this on the Ujiaki or something, right? Like you can't afford Ujiaki hanging around doing his thing. This card, when it got spoiled, was, wow, it hits Feast or Famine. Really awkward. Contesting the water ring, too. So, the way this interacts, I found this out the hard way. So, my friend plays Lion, and I was playing Crab. I attacked water, and I hit Feast or Famine. One, I didn't know it could pull Fate off guys not in the conflict, because I didn't fully read it yet. And then I didn't realize it triggered before the ring affected. So, he stole all the Fate off my Witch Hunter, and I couldn't bow his character.
Yeah, it's the worst possible timing, basically, and the best possible effect.
So we're definitely not seeing a defense here. The real question is, does Goblin Guide want the fate on his Kabe Guard or his Gifted Tactician? He decides Gifted Tactician.
Gifted Tactician gives him a card. I think this signifies, because keeping that guard around would be good just for
the
honored character, and that's very good. So maybe he's being a little hasty because he thinks he's popping off.
Oh, he could have stand your ground.
That takes away the honor token, though.
Sure, but then he's just gonna assume he's gonna win a military conflict again.
Right. Next round he would be first player, so he probably would.
So we're gonna see Theia attack this manicured garden. Probably gonna see. I'm surprised that he voided Asami instead of voiding the political rival.
Yeah, on average, rival is probably better than Asami.
Right, like Lion already has a hard enough time defending political without having their best political defender coverted each turn. So we're gonna see a big military attack here. You don't have to leave Satoshi back because you could leave Satoshi back for favor purposes. Does that help you? No.
Well, you already lost your ring, so what are you gonna do?
You could
The
tie
opponent's
favor.
already counting 4. Um,
Well, so you can bow. You can bow one of the characters. So if she defends with Narishma. Wait, why is he go? That's meditations. Yeah, go into. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so you just go into Manicure Garden. So he's just sending them all. Hopefully, so Lion has just enough fate for greater glory and charge, but then we see him going for air, so grabs 2 fate there.
yeah, it's tricky because the Gifted Tactician is half a ring, the LPB is a ring. The ring you actually choose, just grab some fate. What's better though? 2 keepers or 2 fate?
You can get your keepers next turn, right? With your huge board.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, actually, I probably would have gone for keepers this turn, right? Because if you're basically hoping to break the 3rd province this turn, and then go stronghold everything. He'll have to do a poke attack on the stronghold because it's rally to the cause. So we see a second sword on this Narishma. Does Goblin Guide have a let go? He does have 2 in the deck.
He's got like a billion outs.
Yeah, I think Crane is going to be hard pressed to hold this, to say the least.
So we do see a let go. We know there's not another sword. We know there's one more bonsai in the deck.
We also know that Lion has 13 cards and a military conflict, so...
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see a charge here. Like, it would just be inconceivable that Lion doesn't have a charge.
If he doesn't have a charge, he definitely wants the keepers to keep the favor, right?
Yeah, I would imagine. Which is why I think he has a charge.
Yeah, see, that was Lion being extra careful that Kreen doesn't have any possible trick that stops your charge from happening. I've been there before.
Alright,
Like,
so...
I don't want to catch this, because what if Kreen had something I forgot about and it doesn't work?
Alright, so... flips... Oh, Matsu Bayona is so sick!
Bayona's sick, yeah.
You take Bayona and Gift the Tactician. Yep, so Bayona triggers...
Yeah.
Wow.
Incoming for greater glory.
Yeah. And then you flip an Ujiaki dupe also, so you get to keep him. Alright, so where's this for greater glory? Oh, he gets to trigger the Gifted Tacticians also.
You don't need to use the Ujiaki dupe, because you're not going to have favor. But yeah, I guess you would the following turn, so you would want to use it.
You could I guess take a risk in quotation marks where you just discard him to see 4 new cards.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to decide. If I thought that I was confident I was going to win,
I think I'm confident
not.
I'm winning on military this turn, so...
This turn or next turn, but the military becomes political is the thing.
No, you so there's the stand your gun on the guard, right? So you just poke, you poke with Mia Satoshi.
Oh, sure.
Right, you send Mia Satoshi in on military. If it gets swapped to or you send Mia Satoshi in on political. Yeah. You have Mia Satoshi declare your political, and then on your second attack for the turn, you.
Oh no, this is so gross. Oh no.
What's up?
No, LPB is definitely going on the first attack. Political rival is a dash, so it gets bowed. There's pretty much nothing.
Oh, are we just gonna
Um,
see a political break?
Political break is hard with this row and 13 Fate, but LPB will bow
Oh, there's a
Crane's
spirit caller.
best piece on the first attack.
Gunso flips spirit caller. There's a second LPB in the graveyard.
Okay, so Lion is going to bow Crane's two best defensive pieces.
Yeah, I think Lion's gonna break on political this turn actually on the first attack because you just buy a prodigies. You can buy prodigies as two political characters. Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna see. I think Lion's just gonna buy out his board and just send them all in political.
I want to be clear that I don't think Theia's played this like badly at all.
No, this is the
How
Lion
it goes
high roll,
sometimes.
right? This is the
Yeah.
Lion high roll we talk about, right? Where it's just sometimes Lion does things that you just can't stop, and like the clans got tools to deal with this, so this wasn't the norm, right? Like in core, this style of gameplay was just the norm, right? Where you didn't have policy debate, and you just got ran over and over again.
But yeah, I think that I bring enough to the first attack to threaten a break, and then whatever doesn't defend, I bow. The only thing I have to respect is the one of Fate Worse Than Death, right? As a Lion player.
Why do you have to respect that?
If you're trying to figure out how many of the Crane characters you're gonna bow.
So you would only bow one less, right? I actually have to
Yeah.
I have to zoom out because there's too many Lion characters.
Well, you don't need to look at the Spirit Caller or the Prodigies. Just leave them under the chat window or whatever you have under there.
I mean, I think you can just threaten the political break, right, Zergling? I mean, there's just because you can bow two characters with double brawler.
Yeah, and it's almost a joke if you can't use Rally, right? It's just rough.
You could also just poke if you wanted, right? Like you could just send in anybody and then do your military attack. With Hotaru becoming honored, it actually she might be able to defend political now. Oh, nope, we're seeing it. We're seeing the political break, I think, or attempted political break. So, declares his military conflict. It's gonna get swapped. Here it comes. Contesting fire also. Political skill 20. Not a number you often see from Lion.
Yeah, but Crane has 15, so it's not breaking.
It's gonna be reduced by 6.
I know.
Look, dashes. All dashes were not made equal. All brawlers were not made equal. So, Crane can box one of the prodigies, or the brawler. Anyone with 2. Oh, so Fate Worse Than Death on the brawler. Okay, so that's step 1, right? So Lion's gonna sphere color the other brawler now.
Yeah, after they check the deck list to make sure there's only 2 Fate Worse Than Death.
Well, she only has 2 Fate, right? So it doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
So Brawler bows the rival. So 18-9. Rally's just breaking right here. Like, I don't think there's a single card that can help Theia here. We see a fan. So up. Goblin God's up by 7.
I wonder.
So
It should have been possible for Goblin Guide to bow Utaru, right?
Why?
With some card play. With some card play.
Oh, sure. So potentially, yeah. Well, it would have to just be Bonsai, right? Like, only Bonsai does it? Because you can't play Legion of One?
Wave. It would be a sword. I guess he already played his only sword.
He's played one of his Wave Lions?
The other Wave Lion.
Or
Yeah.
the other Bonsai, right? So it's feasible that he didn't draw either of those.
Yeah, you're actually right there. I didn't realize. I guess that's why maybe you see people cutting Legion than one before they cut Bonsai and Wave the Lion.
Well, I think cutting Wave Lion is incorrect only because of the way it stacks, right? Like, you can just...
Although I guess he doesn't have strength in numbers either.
Yeah, we haven't seen... Or he tried to bait it with the Let Go. So we see Assassination on the Brash Samurai get cancelled. I don't like that. I guess Brash Samurai is
Yeah.
your only other character, right? So you can challenge Water potentially and try and get out. I don't think Lion can punt this with 13 cards in hand, but I'm ready to be proven wrong, Zergling. Yeah, the Simkov saying could be a classic throw. I mean, look, sometimes people get overzealous. Oh, Ageless Crone shows up now. After the dust settles. Rally is still breaking. Goblin Guide is up by exactly 6.
So we need the second assassination from Theia.
Yeah, and you need Goblin Guide to have nothing else, right?
Yeah. I think this is why we're thinking about doing some kind of double offensive as
Like just
opposed to trying to go all in. Yeah, because it seemed like this sort of situation was possible, especially if I looked at my hand and I saw that there were 12 cards I didn't want to use on a political attack.
Yeah, that's reasonable. So, overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
Ooh, we're gonna get to see a hand.
Alright, so...
We do see the bonsai. He should have totally bowed Hotaru.
Yeah, he should have just...
That'd be an extra 3 stats.
You know, he has strength in numbers in his hand. Why didn't he attempt to play it?
He's just baiting cancels, isn't he?
I guess? I don't know. There's nothing to bait your cancels with, right? Like, strength in numbers is the only
He's
relevant...
got a Miramoto's Fury as well.
You have to take strength in
When the
numbers.
Brash Samurai comes in.
Well, you have to take strength in numbers. Yeah, okay. Discard strength in numbers. Yeah, you definitely should have just bonsai'd the Brawler and bowed Hotaru. She provided 9 versus the rival 6. So we see Goblin Sneak taking Theia's Last Fate.
And Ageless Crone is in the conflict, right?
Yeah.
So Theia can't play anything. Yeah, that's game.
Yep, that is a game. Alright, well, I didn't expect Crane to be able to defend that. This was just one of those games, right, where Lion just got rolling and just the momentum was too much.
Yeah, we almost had one of those "what have I done" moments at the end there.
Yeah. Alright, well, that is going to be it for round of 32. So if we take a quick look at the bracket, let me just edit Goblin Guide here into his spot. So Goblin Guy's gonna be playing against Neff, who is in chat. Paste values only. Goblin Guide has beat 2 Cranes, by the way, so it's up to Neff to maintain the Crane honor. We have Crane.
I'm telling you, my man, this deck out of Lion is really scarily tuned against Scorpion, which carries over quite well to Crane. It's not fun.
It is up to Neff to uphold the Crane legacy and defeat the Crane Killer Goblin Guide. So let's go ahead and take a look at this bracket. Now that I've updated it, hopefully it went through. Yeah, alright, cool. So, bracket-wise, we have JD Sauce versus Eugen. That should be a good match. Scorpion versus Phoenix. We have QQ versus Tenerum. Another good match, I think. Tenerum did defeat Foredream, who is another very strong Scorpion player, in the first round. We have Goblin Guide versus Neff. We have myself versus Heinzel. We have Wosho versus Noman, Yava versus Sir Largeness, Shiba Inu versus Micah. So that's a matchup I haven't seen recently, Phoenix versus Crane. And then we have the Scorpion Slayer himself, Bill Jr. So, some pretty good matchups. So, let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many Scorpions do we start with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So out of 18 Scorpions, 8 converted to run a 16. What's that? That's a pretty good percentage.
I think that's only like picking up one slot.
What do you mean by one
no,
slot?
No, actually, I'm sorry. I was thinking about 32, wasn't I? So yeah, they've converted quite a few slots.
It's 44%. Where let's see, is there anyone else that's even close to that conversion? Let's see. Lion has 1, 2, 3. How many total lions were in this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, lions at 30% conversion. All the cranes died except for Neff and Micah, and all the dragons died except for myself. What about Phoenix? Phoenix has 2 players? How many do they start with? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I think the biggest unexpected thing is that the crabs were eliminated from the bracket.
Yeah, all the crabs are dead, right? Yep. Every crab is dead. We have so all the crabs are dead. We have 2 Phoenix, 2 lion, sorry, 3 lion. 2 Phoenix, 3 lion, 2 cranes, a lone dragon, a very handsome devil, if I might add, and a bunch of scorpions. So I think it's going to be everyone's rooting for the non-scorpion players, right?
Well, I mean, if it's Scorpion versus non-Scorpion, you've got a pretty even match.
We'll see what happens. I have faith. I have faith in Bill the Scorpion Slayer. I have faith in Tenerum the Scorpion Slayer. And Eugen was telling me that he was testing the matchup and he feels confident versus JD Sauce. So we'll see.
Yeah, people are trying to figure out what to watch. I advise them to keep an eye out for Tenerum. If there was a most interesting deck list in the top 64, I would give it to him.
His match versus Foredream was sick. I thought that match was so good.
Yeah, he's actually running a Lion deck that looks a lot like a Phoenix deck. It's running the Guard Duty, Stand Your Ground, Gaijin Customs, Talisman.
Yeah, QQ, I'm definitely
really
not rooting
cool.
for you. I'm rooting for Tenerum. Tenerum's my boy. Definitely rooting for Tenerum. And then, yeah, Chris is guaranteed. Chris in Discord says nothing more fun than guaranteed Scorpion mirrors for 2 rounds. He's got this one followed by a guaranteed one next round, and then he has a potential for a 3rd straight one against Woodwin if Woodwin beats Bill.
Well, that should fix that conversion rate, right?
Yeah, right. Like, to be fair, they only converted 44%, right? So it's not like they converted over 50%. Scorpion needs a buff. You heard it here first.
Well, I mean, through 2 rounds, you'd expect what, 25%? So 44 is pretty high.
44 is high, right? Like, no, 44 is high. I'm not. I was joking when I was saying it wasn't that high. I think anything over 30% is strong. Yeah, so mostly just crab. Crane had a pretty poor conversion, but I think that was just inflated by how many cranes actually made the cut or the cup.
Yeah, Crane continues to be a very popular clan. So you usually see quite a few entrants into the cup, but sometimes they have some trouble converting them.
Yeah, so
Into
out of
win.
13 cranes, only two made it to round of 16. Um, Crane was the second most populous clan in round of 64. Yeah, so Crane boasting a above average 15%. Alright guys, that's going to do it for the streams today. I am going to grab some food and go to sleep. Thanks again to Luke for casting. Thanks for the chat for watching and talking. Keep an eye out. This week will be announcements for mid-season for Season 4, along with sign-ups for Season 5. We will be doing announcements for any policy changes and any rules updates. There will be an announcement about wildcard. We will be changing the wildcard system and making it a lot better. So just keep your eyes posted for in the Discord League channel. All right, take care, guys.